Everyone, I think we're recording. This is Dr. Fu from Psychology 331, Developmental Psychology. I know not everybody is able to make it to Zoom, which is perfectly fine. Those were not mandatory. But I wanted to make a very short video just to walk you through some of the highlights of what we discussed over Zoom and some of the feedback I've gotten from those that attended. So thank you. Let me share my screen so I can show you the Canvas screen, and then I can walk you through that way. One of the things I've repeatedly told your colleagues who attended the Zoom meeting is to definitely use Canvas, make it your friend. When you hit on syllabus screen, you will see an overview of how you could contact me, ways you could contact me, but definitely download a copy of the syllabus. You might need it for future reference. And then this is a really nice layout of the course summary with all the due dates and the type of assignments, and you can access the assignments directly this way. You can do this as well over modules, but when you do it through syllabus, it just takes you directly to this, and it has a really nice way of organizing everything. So you can also print that out or download it. For the CLA, which is due this week, let me go over a little bit because that one tends to be confusing for people who may not have gone to do a CLA before. So let me make sure that I'm sharing the correct screen and walking you through that. So for the CLA, there we go. So the scenario is you're director at a local childcare center and you've had a PTA meeting when the parents really wanted to increase the children's literacy in preparation for kindergarten. And in order to do that, someone suggested ABC Maps, which is free in and of itself, but it requires you to have screens. So as a director, you can't just say yes to everybody and every request. There's limited resources, there's some financial costs in consideration. So you just want to make sure that you have your parents, you're hearing your parents' concern, and if you wanted to move forward with ABC Mouse and buying tablets, that there's really enough justification and evidence to say, yes, that's a good move above and beyond what you're already doing. So this is not a research paper. I would like to think about CLAs more as a critical thinking paper. Since the information is available to you, you're just going through the documents and sifting through the information to see which ones are more trustworthy, reliable, up-to-date, applicable to your issues that you're trying to face. So keep in mind, you're trying to get the children ready for kindergarten readiness, particularly literacy. So document 1 is about the American Academy of Pediatrics and their statement on media use, which I think comes in really handy when you're considering the pandemic that we're having right now. And they've had a previous version, updated version. Go through that, and what I would recommend is sift out information that is relevant only to what you're trying to discuss and use that as an argument to either adapt screens or don't adapt screens. So the recommendation I would have for writing the CLA is you start off by writing emails, right? Dear parents, I am writing to you because da 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 da. You explain why you're writing to them very briefly, and then you briefly state your decision. And then what you do is then you cite all of the relevant information in these documents. So make sure that you are sticking with the document because the CLA is really about seeing if you can extract information, so get out information from these documents, and then using them to formulate a substantiated argument, which means it's not just your opinion. CLAs are not about opinions. They're not about what your hunch tells you, but about what does the information say? And if the information is reliable, do we need more information? Do we not? Do we have enough evidence to suggest one way or the other? For the first CLA, I would say, as long as you give it a good attempt, I will give you feedback and on ways that you can improve or continue to strengthen your strong suits already. But you will be awarded full credit for giving it a good effort. And then what will happen is I will go ahead and give that 20 points as long as you submit it. And what we'll do later on in the semester is to do CLA number 2, and that one will be graded based on your actual performance. So take advantage definitely of that first CLA and ways to kind of maximize learning, critical thinking, and how to spot good information from the not so great ones. So let me stop sharing. So that is the CLA. Really, my tip for this semester is staying organized, staying ahead of the game if possible. Everything in the course is open. So, other than discussion boards, which rely on you posting an initial post and responding to someone else's post, everything you can do ahead of time if you have a less of a load right now at the beginning of the semester. I wanted to open it up just so people have different agendas, different responsibilities, different schedules. So definitely work at your own pace, but remember that the deadlines are actually deadlines. So even though it's open, you do need to submit materials by the end of whatever due date. So staying organized would be key. If something does come up, let me know, and I am happy to work with you as long as it's not, you know, getting reopened every single assignment the day before final grades are due. So yeah, open communication. One of the things that did come up during our Zoom meetings is when you're writing like CLAs or discussion boards, make sure that you are saving them in Word document. That way, if something happens technologically, you're able to have a backup and say, hey, Dr. Fu, I submitted it on Canvas, but somehow Canvas had a glitch and it's gone now. Then I can give you credit without you having to redo it, because that's going to be a pain. And nobody really wants to do the same assignment twice. So we can do that. Yeah, staying ahead of the game, staying organized, communicating with me. One thing that I will do each week is to give you kind of tips of the week, what to read for in that chapter, what the quizzes might be focusing on, so that way you can tailor and be more focused in your learning and in your reading. If it's not an assignment with a link to submit it, you do not have to hand it in. Like I have sometimes handouts and additional resources. Those, use them if they're helpful, but feel free to ignore them if that's not your style. That's perfectly okay. So that is pretty much all that I can think of in terms of highlights. I enjoyed meeting those that were able to come to Zoom, but if you wanted a one-on-one meeting, feel free to let me know. But I know a lot of people have a lot on their plate. So my job is to make sure we maximize your learning, but doing so in a smart way and in a user-friendly type of way. So whether this is your first online class, your first FSU class, your last one, please feel free to let me know, because it's my job as your instructor to make sure I am here for you in the way that you need. So I do not micromanage. I don't believe in daily attendance on Canvas. If you're logging in, you're submitting assignments, that is good enough for me. And if I have concerns, I'll contact you and ask you if there's ways that I can better support you. But other than that, this is pretty much it. So I'm going to cut it off here. Email me, message me if you have any questions. But if not, look for my next announcement and I'll give you kind of some highlights of the week. So yeah, take care, guys. I'll see you soon.